Alabama beats Missouri 27-24 on the road in Columbia, Week 7, just about as we thought this game would go. We thought it would be competitive. We picked Alabama to win. They end up winning this football game in a fashion in which I think Deboer needed badly. A close game against a good team. I understand Missouri's not what people herald as Georgia or the Penn States or Ohio States or Texases of the world, albeit Texas has not looked great this year. Big win out of them this week. We'll talk about that in a separate video. But Alabama goes on the road, and Ty Simpson looks better and better and better. Ryan Grubb and him, the chemistry has continued to grow. Jam Miller gets 20 carries, 85 yards rushing in this game. The offense does what they need to do, but the biggest stat in this football game that I think was huge for Alabama and is a step towards the right direction was time of possession. The Tide had 38 minutes in terms of time of possession. It's a style of win that I feel like we've yet to see Deboer have. Kane Womack's defense, that first drive looked clueless, looked lifeless, like they weren't even there. They settled in a little bit. They finally started to force stops. Really, the biggest difference in this game was those two Purbulla interceptions. For Missouri, those are killer, both costly, both eerily similar routes, like skinny posts where just the timing and the placement of the ball just wasn't what it needed to be. Alabama's in the right spot. They capitalize on those. Just a great job all the way around, right? Not the prettiest win in the world. You didn't go in and dominate this thing all 4 quarters, but you got the job done when you needed to badly. So impressive win for Alabama to continue to keep this momentum going. 5 straight wins. You're continuing to build and an SEC conference that is absolutely wide open this year. I mean, completely wide open. You have that big win against Georgia. Georgia wins on the road in Auburn this week, so that makes that win continue to look better. But let's talk about Missouri for a second here. Eli Drinkwitz, of course, has not played or coached extremely well against AP-ranked teams in his tenure so far. Even with the recent success that Missouri's had, it's also kind of felt eerily similar to these big games. They just can't get over the hump. And what Cignetti's doing at Indiana is not helping coaches like Eli Drinkwitz's cause, because he's already beating Oregon on the road in year 2 with a team that just went to the playoff in year 1 with 0 5-stars on the roster. So for Missouri, this, of course, it only makes things more difficult, and not just Missouri, other teams. But really the biggest thing for this was, like I had mentioned, the 2 Purbulla interceptions, but also just Ahmad Hardy, the nation's leading running back, only having 12 carries. I mean, what in the world are we doing? To only 21 minutes in terms of time of possession, 1 for 10 on third down, just can't happen. But when you start behind the chains and the play calling doesn't really find any legs in the run game, abandoning it that fast to me is what hurts you more than anything, because then you end up getting behind the chains. You end up settling for obvious passing downs, and 1 for 10 on third down is what comes to fruition out of all of that. So like I said, guys, Ahmad Hardy not having at least 15 to 20 carries is not going to do you any good. Even if you can't run the football, you have to find other ways to scheme him into the game plan and get the ball in your best athlete's hands. It felt like Coleman was quite non-existent for a majority of this game. That receiving core just couldn't really get much separation. Now, look, Missouri had 330 yards of offense, so they outgained Alabama by 4 yards. So there's something to build off of there, but 16 completions throughout an entire 4-quarter game. Again, time of possession is just a huge thing. That defense could not get off the field when they needed to the most. Alabama was able to go 6 for 15 on third downs. They've been a very good third down team this year. Now, of course, percentage-wise, that's not the best, but it's better than Missouri. You win the turnover battle, you win the time of possession battle. In a conference like the SEC, you're likely going to win the overall battle and win the football game, and that's what Alabama did. So for Missouri, still a very inspired performance, a lot to build off of. If you clean up those turnovers and you can sustain drives, not rely on big pop plays, and continue to feed Ahmad Hardy. You got to get that offensive line moving the line of scrimmage. There's still a lot of success on the horizon for this team, and this season is not over. Favorable schedule in terms of the SEC this year, so still room to kind of bounce back and grow as a team as the season continues. And for Alabama, it's just churn. Continue to get better. Ty Simpson, 3 touchdowns in this game, 23 for 31, 200 yards, so didn't light it up through the air, but I like how he was able to kind of spread the ball around. It wasn't the Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams show, so that's signs of life for Ryan Grubb and that Alabama offense to know that some of these other athletes are stepping up and starting to make splash plays. It's huge for them, and especially for their progression as this season continues.